Hello, welcome back to the Chronicles of an African Diaspora Nest, the return. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and thank you to all those who have subscribed. I really appreciate that. Today's video is going to look at building modestly in Ghana or anywhere else in Africa. So this video will look at how we got from here to there. I've lived in the UK for just over 26 years, and throughout my conversations with other African diaspora in terms of what is priority to them, one thing resonates throughout all my conversations, and that is owning a home back in their home countries. There are many ways and means of acquiring a home in Ghana. These days there are several real estate developers, and you can buy a house outright, and that is if you have the funds, or you can get a house on a mortgage where you pay a percentage and you pay the rest in installments. That's another choice. Some people buy uncompleted buildings and complete, and some people buy a land and build from scratch. And that is what I know most people do, and that is certainly what we did. So I'm going to share 7 strategies of building modestly in Ghana. And I stress the word modestly because, as you know, we all have different tastes and we're all at different levels. Some people can go for lavish designs, luxury homes. Some people to go for a modest house, and for me, or for us, it was a question of going to Ghana and getting a place to lay your head. And I'm sure some of you can attest. Certainly there was a time that we were going to Ghana and you would have to either lodge with family or rent a place, and so for convenience and for privacy and other reasons, I think most people would prefer to have their own place. So here we go, 7 strategies. I hope that it will be helpful to someone. These are not a blueprint for building modestly, and indeed somebody's modest house can be somebody's luxury home. In the same vein, somebody's luxury home will be very modest for someone. So you get what I mean. So I hope these 7 strategies help someone. The number 1 fact to think about is financing. Where will the money come from? Most people I know, and certainly for us, was we had this amount of money and we felt, oh, we need to buy a land. But beyond buying the land, you need to think about how the rest of the project will be financed. Is it going to be from savings? Is it from loans? Is it from investments? Is it from an inheritance, or is it from pensions? It is helpful to think about these because it will determine how long it will take to finish your building project. Number 2, cut your coat according to your size. Avoid comparisons, wanting to be like the Joneses. And this relates to the location where you want to buy the land and the type of house you want to build. You know your pocket and you know what you can afford. It will save you a lot of headache by building within your means. Number 3, the land acquisition and location. I'm going to talk more about location because I'm not an expert in land acquisition, and we all know sometimes the horrible stories with land acquisition. But there are some helpful YouTube videos that I will recommend. I'll put the links in the description below. So location. I've heard so many stories of regret from people who have said, oh, how I wish I bought a land at this place. Reason being that most of these areas are developing very fast. When we went to our site initially, there were only 3 houses, and even with one house you could only see the the top of the roof, there were lots of bushes in this vast area. But fast forward 14 years later, and this place is a bubbling suburb. You would even recognize that this was the same place that seemed so deserted. So the lesson is, don't discount a far out area. And especially in these days where we have road networks, we have transport, you can easily get to all the essential amenities that you want to get to. So bear that in mind. Most places are developing very, very fast. Number 4, the project overseer. We all know that building a house in Ghana or in other places in Africa can be fraught with a lot of challenges. So who will be the project overseer? I'm sure you've heard stories of people sending monies home and all the horrible stories where sometimes people go and there's no house or something else has happened. So it's really important to get this right. Do you have trustworthy people to oversee your building project? In our case, we had a recommendation from a family member of the person who was the overseer, or as we say in Ghana, the foreman. So I know this is a very tricky one, and sometimes the people that you think you trust can do all sorts of things. And also, do you plan to leave everything to the project overseer, or do you plan to go every now and then to check? In our case, we planned it such that with every phase of the project, we were there to supervise whichever phase it has got into, and that was really helpful, and it was an eye-opener to us. And this may also mean that you would go with the overseer, and in our case we had to go with them to buy some of the building materials, the needed building material for that particular phase. Yes, so that was also very helpful for us to know the cost and to plan how we will manage the finances. Number 5, building in phases. Building a house from scratch in Ghana or Africa requires a lot of resources, financial, human, and material. It would be great if you had all the money available and built continuously from scratch to the end. But most people I know, and certainly for us, didn't have that luxury. Therefore, it made sense to divide the building project in phases in order for us to have a breather in between each phase, and also to save some money and come back and continue with the building project. So phase 1, clearing the land and foundation. Clearing the land in itself should be straightforward depending on how bushy the site is. Pay attention to boundaries when marking out your plot. You can easily encroach on the next plot. The foundation of every endeavor in life is key, and so is the foundation of your building. This stage requires materials that will strengthen the base of your building, including cement blocks, quarried stones, sand, cement, and iron rods. But ensure you get your building permit first before you start this phase. Phase 2, building up to the lintel level. This is probably the most easiest part of the building, as you will just need lots of cement blocks, sand, and cement. Pay attention to the floor plan, as you could easily make a mistake at this stage. Phase 3, the roofing. This consists of the inner wooden work and the outer roofing. Ensure you don't leave the inner wooden work for a long period before putting on the outer roofing, especially in the rainy season. This can damage the woodwork. Phase 4, fitting the windows with burglar proof and fixing the doors. Ensure you install durable but affordable security doors. The security of your house is key. I'm sure you understand why. There are different types of burglar-proof for windows available, which you can select to suit your particular building. Phase 5: electrical wiring. This phase can be expensive in terms of getting the quality wiring material and also getting a qualified electrician to install all the electrical works. This is a phase that you might want to consider connecting to the main electricity. Phase 6: fixing the windows. And this is about the outer glass window, and these are very common these days in Ghana, but they come with their own flaws. So there are ways of strengthening these windows. And also the tiling is good to get a tiler, a very good tiler. In this case, we got a tiler by word of mouth, that is a recommendation, and we had to go and see what work this person has done. So you can see the kitchen is tiled beautifully from the floor to the roof, and also the room tilings were also done very beautifully, as you can see, and the porch tiling as well. So in all, we were satisfied with the tiling, including the bathroom tiling. Phase 7: painting, and this is also one of the easiest phase, as we just had to choose which colors of painting and a question of getting a good painter to complete the work. Yes, so it all depends on your choice of colors, something that you would enjoy. And of course, not every room needed to be painted, such as the kitchen, which was all tiled. Phase 8: landscape and security. Are you going all out on tiles or leaving some space for plants and flowers? Remember, the security of your home is paramount. In our case, we chose electric fencing, and it has served us very well. So these are the 8 phases on the point number 5, which is building in phases. The last 3 or 4 phases can be altered differently depending on your particular needs or requirements for that stage of the building. Number 6: moving in early, before the building is completed 100%. It's okay to move in early, and for us, we needed to move in. It was a necessity. And the benefit of moving in early is that you get the chance to look at things in your own time and complete the minor works that needs to be done. So it has its advantages. Whereas if you don't live in at the time, probably the chances of making sure those things are done could be delayed. But once you are in it, you certainly want to do those minor works that is left. Point number 7: maintain a maintenance culture. And I can't stress that enough. Houses, whether lived in or not, there comes a time that it will experience wear and tear. It could be painting, it could be a broken tile, it could be plumbing. So once we have that mindset of maintenance culture, your house will always be the lovely home that you want to live in and enjoy. So these are my 7 strategies. If any of the things that I've shared on building modestly in Ghana resonates with you, let us hear of your success stories or not so successful stories, so that we can all learn from it, especially for those people who are in the process of building right now or are thinking of starting a building project. So I hope these strategies will help somebody. Thank you. Until I see you in the next video, take care and bye.